everyone, this is Dawn. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to show you how to make a quick card using the December stamp of the month called Owl Love You Forever. So I'm going to use this guy and the moon and the sentiment. So I'm using Timholtz Distress watercolor paper. I've got some loaded into my Misty. I've got the owl and the moon, and I'm going to ink them up using black ink. Okay, so I've got it in my Misty so I can stamp multiple times in the same place. I'm using my Chucky tool to get even pressure. And then I want a deep dark black color, so I'm going to stamp it twice. So I'm going to ink them up in black again and stamp a second time. And then I'm going to get everything cleaned up, and I'm going to clear emboss over this. So I'm going to hit it with my anti-static powder, and then I'm going to ink it up a third time using Versamark ink. And if you are looking at this stamp thinking, oh, it's going to take me forever to color all those tiny little bits in, this is a quick way to get color on your stamped image. Okay. So I've got some clear embossing powder, and I'm going to sprinkle that over the image and tap off the excess. And then we will heat it up with our heat tool. I'm just knocking off some of those stray bits with a dry brush. And then I'll heat it up and melt all that embossing powder with my heat tool. So I'm locking in the black color on this cardstock. Okay, so get all that melted. All right, so now I'm going to bring in my Close to My Heart flat mat, and I'm going to use Nuvo Shimmer powders. So I'm using Lilac, Waterfall, Blue Blitz, Solar Flare, and Jade Fountain. So you just tap a little bit of this powder out, just a couple of taps. Little goes a long way, so I'm going to kind of place it sort of where I want it, but with this method, you just have to let it do its own thing. So then I'm going to spritz it with water and just let that color move around, and it's shimmery and pretty, and it's just going to color those images super easy. And then I'm going to heat it up just a little bit with my heat tool to dry it a bit and to keep the paper to get it to flatten out again. So then I set that aside to dry, and now I'm going to start working on my card base. So I'm going to start out cutting sapphire cardstock at 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, but then I'll trim it down to 4 by 5 1/4 so that I can have a border around the edges. All right. So I'm just looking at my stamp images and kind of deciding where I want to place my sentiment. So my sentiment says, Owl Love You Forever. And I'm going to stamp this in Versamark ink, and then I'm going to use white detail embossing powder so that the white will pop on that sapphire cardstock. So I'll sprinkle some embossing powder on it and brush off the excess with a brush. And then I'll heat that up with my heat gun. And then we'll get that to melt. All right, now I'm going to use some of this Dina Wakley Media Gloss Spray in white. And rather than spritzing it through the spritzer, I'm taking that out of the bottle, and then I'm just tapping and splattering this white gloss all over my card to make stars. Okay, so it'll dry opaque and looks like a star field. Okay, now we're ready to start building our card. Off screen, I have fussy cut the owl and the moon out of the watercolor paper. It's a pretty simple image to fussy cut, and it's pretty quick. So I'm going to put it down, put the wisteria cardstock down with Tombow tape runner, and then I'll layer in my sentiment sapphire base on top, and then I'm going to pop the owl and the moon using some thin foam tape. Pretty simple, and that shimmer it's in real life, the camera doesn't show all of the shimmer and gloss and glitter in this color, but it's pretty amazing. So I encourage you to give it a try. I will make a list of all the supplies that I used. Here's some close-up shots. make lists in the description below. And if you haven't hit that subscribe button, I would encourage you to do so, because then you'll be able to find all of my videos. And thanks for watching.